For over a century, a magnificent old elm tree had anchored Mrs. Gable's garden, providing a stable, predictable home for generations of squirrels, birds, and insects. Life followed comfortable routines, with familiar dirt paths and dense rose bushes offering perfect shelter. Then, one spring, Mrs. Gable began to modernize her beloved garden. She laid down a smooth, hard stone path, where a soft dirt trail once ran. The sprawling rose bushes, once perfect for nesting, were severely pruned back, making way for sleek, low-lying shrubs that offered little cover. To top it off, a shiny, reflective bird bath replaced the old, reliable mossy feeder that had always provided easy meals. The changes brought immediate challenges. Old Squeaky Squirrel set in his ways, frantically scratched at the unyielding stone path, confused as to why his buried nuts wouldn't fit. Several sparrow families, unable to perch on the slippery new bird bath, struggled to find water and food. The robins, finding their usual nesting spots in the shorn roses exposed, felt vulnerable and hesitant to build. Many older animals, clinging to their ingrained habits, simply couldn't adjust, and some eventually left the garden in search of more familiar surroundings. However, a new generation, with more flexible minds, began to adapt. Flicker, a young squirrel, quickly noticed that while the path was hard, the soil just beside it was loose enough for burying nuts. He cautiously began to use these edges, developing a new foraging strategy. Pip, a clever wren, saw the exposed rose bushes, and instead explored the tall, dense hedge at the back of the garden. It was different, but it offered excellent concealment, and he meticulously built a new, secure nest there, soon followed by other wrens. As for the tricky bird bath, a particularly thirsty finch, after many attempts, learned that by landing on a rough stone next to the bath, and then carefully hopping to the rim, it could safely drink. This new technique was soon imitated by others. Over time, the garden found a new equilibrium. Those who had struggled eventually moved on. But Flicker, Pip, and other adaptable creatures thrived. They had learned to innovate, to seek new solutions, and to utilize their environment in novel ways. The old elm tree stood as a silent testament. While change can be unsettling and demand effort, the ability to adapt to new circumstances is what truly allows life to flourish in an ever-evolving world. This story teaches us that instead of resisting new conditions, embracing innovation and resourcefulness allows us to discover new opportunities and flourish. Even when our world transforms around us,